I will teach you in a room. I will teach you now on Zoom. I will teach you in your house. I will teach you with a mouse. I will teach you here and there. I will teach you because I care. Hello, hello, hello to all of the superheroes who have gathered today for our meeting. I wanted to share a few reflections of how the document developing high quality virtual lesson plans have helped me to be more intentional in preparing certain elements of my lesson plans. I feel that I was already employing really strong and effective strategies to address the components of planning for clarity, planning for students, doing the thinking and problem solving, and technology integration. The one area the document led me to be more intentional about was planning for student ownership of their own learning. Project based learning is an excellent way to frame students' learning to be more conducive for this type of thinking as far as students driving their own learning, students creating their own questions, students seeking to find more knowledge, helping them practice self-questioning techniques by stopping periodically and asking what questions do you have and what else makes you this makes you wonder about also will help them to start developing that muscle to be able to do that, and soon with practice, and I believe over time the students will be better at that. So I've practiced being a little more intentional about forming those types of thought-provoking questions and thinking about when it would be appropriate to engage them and ask them certain things of that nature, to start generating their own questions, and asking them, what does this make you think of, and what is this making you wonder? Also, I think allowing for students choice increases their engagement, and it helps increase their ability to persevere through challenging tasks, such as this assignment that I'm going to share with you today. Of course, generating or creating a great hook is essential to all great lesson plans or all effective lesson plans. So the hook that I used with my students was, you have been selected to write an article for one of these magazines, Sports Illustrated for Kids or National Geographic for Kids. So what I did was I clicked onto both websites and we looked at some of the articles that were published to give them an idea of the type of article that they needed to write, or the type of work that were already being produced by these two magazine companies. They were stoked and they were excited about the opportunity. So one of the things that, of course, when you're doing a project like this is you need to be able to give the students a way to understand how they're going to be evaluated, what's expected of me. Even though I have some free range of what topic I'm looking at, I still need to know how I'm getting there. I need a roadmap to understand what it is that you're expecting of me. So the new thing, though, that I tried was this self-reflection tool. When the students were finished with their product, they had to evaluate themselves and tell me what they thought of themselves. And I also expressed to them that this self-reflection tool did not reflect on their grade. It was for me to see what areas we needed to continue to work on, and it was for them to see what areas they would like to continue developing and working on. So a 3 would mean that I can do it on my own. 2, I can do it with a little help. And 1, this is still difficult for me. On the right-hand side of this self-reflecting tool was my evaluation of the work that they turned in. 3, well done in that area. 2, you're on your way. 1, how can I help you? I see that you're still struggling. So you can see how the student rated himself, and then whatever my comments to him were for that. And at the end, at the bottom, the student could write me a note, and then I could write the student a note. And the student filled out the self-reflection sheet first, then I completed it, and then it goes back to the student, because you don't want it to just be about a grade. It needs to be about the growth and the development and the learning. And that's what that self-reflection tool is. It's pretty much the way that we're going to be goal setting for our next task. So this was the rubric that they used, and you can tell that the elements of this rubric, the cover, the table of contents, subtoppings, all those things were on that self-reflecting tool. And so it was very important that ahead of time that I selected age-appropriate resources for my students to use. This is 3rd grade, so it's very important that they're not just exploring Google overall they needed to kind of have a little bit of safety parameters put into place. So being intentional in selecting the resources was important. Here's one student's final product. His was all about the killer whale. You can see he created a table of contents. He has his first subtopic here. He has a photo with a caption. Because we were studying in reading, we were talking about informational text features. So this is their opportunity to apply that to their own writing. So that's his second and third subtopic. And then he also has a glossary that was required. The type of work that they were being asked to do, it was a big task for third grade. So it was very important, as always, to select graphic organizers to help them organize their thoughts. And also daily, it was also helpful to give them an I can statement. I can think of a topic and subtopics to research about a person or an animal without any help. On the opposite end of that spectrum, I don't understand what topics and subtopics are, and I need more practice and more examples. And here again, I use that 3-2-1 rating scale. I believe that students need predictable structures, whether they're in the virtual setting or if they're in the traditional setting. Here's another graphic organizer to help them organize their thoughts for their well-developed paragraphs. This is a challenging task for a third grader to create a focused, well-developed paragraph. But again, we connected this to what we were learning in reading about main ideas and details. So your topic sentence is your main idea sentence, and just making those connections to the different things that they're learning, so it doesn't seem like it's an isolated concept, and reinforcing the skills that they're learning all around. The yellow highlight there just indicates that I left a comment for him, and you can see on the right-hand side what the comment was. He was missing a conclusion, so I gave him a little tip or a reminder about what a conclusion should be like. And then the next slide here just shows you the blank template that they were given to put their final product on. So that was the cover. Here's a table of contents. This is for one subtopic. This is for a second, and then the third, and then their glossary. And of course, all quality teachers know you have to provide them with some type of example to go off of. And so I definitely gave them one of those in the beginning as well with my own writing.